Yo, 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 yo. What's happening, people? Welcome to this debut, number one debut episode, number one. Uno? Say what? Woo-hoo. Hey, man, y'all already know what time it is. Shout out to my music lovers out here. I mean, you probably listening to this thing on sixfamiliesradio.com. So I already know if you listening on Six Families Radio, you're definitely a music lover. So welcome to the show. And to my people listening to Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or maybe you're on the OTS website and you're just listening through there. However you're listening, welcome to the very first episode. I am one of your hosts. Some of y'all may know this boy's voice. Some of y'all may not. It's your favorite Prince of Bots. It's your guy, you know, the one, the only. A lot of man and many intros, but y'all already know who I am. It's your boy Dwayne in the house. What's happening? But I'm here to introduce a new person into this right here. And this right here is someone I go way back with. Talking about way back to them days of well, y'all already know that purple dinosaur guy, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't even gonna go in there because this is a music podcast. Y'all already know what time it is, even though he did have a very, very dope musical song about love, but it's all good. Welcome, my co-host, my cousin, my numero uno, Miss Janean, aka Nina.
Hey, thank you for the marvelous introduction. Thank you so much.
Hey, you know, this the premiere right here, so you know we got to get them that grand intro one time. So you know, as y'all get used to these voices. If you're watching on the YouTube, get used to these faces. You know what I'm saying? Because this is numero uno, and it's just the beginning. So welcome to Pastor Austin. Before I forget, I can't forget the man of many names, many titles. There's a lot of things. He already know how I like to introduce this dude. my anti-cowboy loving, eagle flying high, Celtic green pride wearing, man of many names, man of many titles, Mr. Derrick Myers, our first guest on the show. Welcome to Pastor Ox. Derrick, how you feeling? Talk to the people.
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited, man. You know, we've been cooking this idea up for a little while, man. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready. This is good to see. Welcome, yes, Janean, on OTS. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Hey, you already know, man. Listen, I'm telling you, this thing right here is going off the hook. So we really gonna bring, this is a little sample episode for y'all. So again, as you listening, this is just a little test sample episode just to let y'all know this is past the ox. All right, so for my music lovers out there, my people who keep up with the entertainment world and what we got going on, we're gonna come up in this thing. We're gonna give y'all some cool segments. We're gonna give y'all some cool views, topics, you know what I mean? Let y'all know what's going on in the music world, both indie and mainstream, you know what I'm saying? Gonna cover just about every genre that we can cover, you know what I mean? So you never know who you're gonna catch on this show. So make sure you come on in, you know what I mean? We're gonna try to get some live interaction with y'all when we can. That's gonna come in the works, you know what I mean? But in the meantime, Ning, go ahead and just, you know, introduce today's topic and what we're gonna kind of give them a little quick dose of today. What we gonna give them real quick?
Look. So today we are going to, would you say debate, or would you say discuss? Would you say explore?
I would say a little bit of all of those things, truth be told. Yeah, I think we're going to do a little bit of all of that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And so today we're going to focus on our main man, Usher, all right? And Usher is like ATL royalty when it comes to R&B, when it comes to staying relevant inside of the music game. And so we're going to talk about, I guess, what singles really stuck with us. We're going to talk about which album had the most hits and just kind of explore Usher's catalog.
Yeah, you know, and then you covered that oh so well, you know what I mean? Because the thing was, me and my man Derrick here, we were kind of just having a talk one day, and like we literally just kind of brought up Usher, and we were just kind of going through his catalog, and it was like, hold up, I forgot about this song, I forgot about that, that came from that album. Are you serious? And like before we knew it, it was just like, yo, we had epiphanies, and we were like, bro, this need to be talked about. Usher, that man is a GOAT. And if you didn't already know, you about to know after this show today. So, without further ado, lady, sir, y'all ready to get into this thing?
Almost definitely.
Okay, so first off, let's just go ahead and let's just go off top. I want to see what singles from Usher, Mr. Raymond, what US HERRAYMOND.
Hey, that one.
Come
That's
on,
the one.
y'all tell me. I want to know from y'all what singles out of Usher's entire catalog have stood out from 1994 when he was baby Usher, little kid Usher, up to about 2016 when he had, we not gonna count a little bit of what he did. I know he got the song, with Miss L, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Ella May, you know what I mean? We know they got their songs going on. I heard that, and I love that track too. Yeah, but we ain't gonna count that yet, because that's kind of like single status.
And we're not counting A either, his collab album with Zaytoven, are we?
Yes, no, that will not be included.
Okay, because I was thinking about that last night, and I was like, I don't know what my favorite Usher album is, because he has hits on top of his, but I know what album I don't want to talk about.
Ain't no doubt about that.
Okay, as long as we not, okay, cool. So we're going to take it like classic.
We're going to take it classic. So before we break this thing down from album to album, you know what I'm saying? And before y'all know it, look, we ain't going to really just go in too detail when it comes to the albums itself. It's more so when we break down the albums, we're going to just kind of tell y'all the singles that stood out from each album. So it's only like the top 5, in some cases top 6 from what I saw, because some of these albums had 6 hits off of the album. So we just going to kind of debate and be like, okay, that album right there might give this one a run for his money, and vice versa. You know what I mean? But first, I want to know, between all these Usher fans up in here, all these people who know about Usher baby, what singles have really stuck out to y'all over the years in his catalog?
We could talk about, it's 7 o'clock on the... I was too young to know what being 7 o'clock on the dot meant. However, that's like classic R&B purist, like top 5. If we're gonna make a 90s slow jam playlist, that's going on there. Absolutely, hands down, no questions asked. So that's probably the first Usher song that comes to mind when I'm like, hits, singles, resonates. That's the one.
I'm gonna have to go with pretty much anything off Confessions. I think that's probably what hits first, and I'm gonna say why. Because I believe Confessions was his Thriller. I believe that was his peak album. That was probably the best one in terms of not being able to skip anything. The album was just complete. There was nothing that I hated about it. So pick whichever one from Confessions, to be honest.
Just pick a track.
Just pick a track.
That's a good argument.
Pick a track. It's
yeah.
And it's a little hard not to argue from both of those angles, because again, when you're talking about, now see, here's the thing though, because R&B Usher, nice and slow, real deal. Like you said, Neen, we was a little too young to really know what nice and slow
about it, but I felt it in my spirit. I knew that it was real.
Legit, well, it's just like any other R&B artist that you would hear in the 90s. Because I used to listen to Babyface, Luther, Tony. Like I
Tears with Tony Braxton. Don't know nothing about a heartbreak.
I didn't know anything. The only heartbreak I knew was I couldn't get chocolate. That I
Yeah.
mean, like there was that was pretty much it for me at that point. But yeah, like he nailed it. He was pretty much like I almost consider like him like the prince of R&B. Like that was the guy, especially in the 90s. I'm not too much on his pop, just because I'm more of an R&B guy myself. But yeah, Nice and Slow. That was the My Way album was just another one. It's just yeah, I don't know. This
it's tough, right?
Yeah,
right.
Ain't it?
Yeah,
it's tough, right? You got all these
things. I'm just like, my God, man. Like,
slow
jam.
I definitely agree with Derrick. I feel like the earlier albums, there's singles that resonate with us and we consider them to be classics. But as you said, Confessions was the first album that I was able to like sit with and not skip, like beginning to end, which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So singles wise, the first two albums, like there's hits, there's singles, but Confessions as a total project was like his first thing. So for sure. I definitely agree with that.
So I like how y'all playing off each other right there like that, because that's interesting, you know what I mean? Because again, Neen brought that up when she was talking about that 90s vibe, you know what I mean? Like My Way give you that. Okay, let's act like we don't think and believe and know that our era, 90s, is still so relevant to this day.
That was
and knowing how R&B. That song is a standout song from that era alone. It's like automatic, right? When you think of Usher, you're gonna think about Nice and Slow half the time, just because the way that start off. What? Yeah. You don't pull up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, hey, come pull up one time.
Hey, one
Going
time.
Down in the DM for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, that was the song before Going Down in the DMs, bro.
And Usher had us all being okay with having a down low relationship with the You Make Me Want to Be the One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you teaching us this early on? It's okay to have like a side piece, low down relationship.
Come on now.
On the side.
Come on, girl.
Yeah. But we felt it.
Come on now, girl.
Now, did you feel guilty singing it?
No.
You never felt guilty singing that?
And that's the bad part. The song was so good and obviously wrong in real life, but I feel nothing other than this is an amazing song.
I slick felt guilty while I was singing it, and I wasn't even in a relationship. I don't even know why. I just felt bad. I'm like, because I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about the words. I'm breaking it down. I'm like, hold up, man. That doesn't seem right.
Whoa. Hold up.
What?
Now, if we talking about Usher songs and what make you feel bad in singing them, really think about that. Which one of these two make you feel the worst in singing them? Is it You Make Me Wanna, or is it Confessions Part 2? Really think about that for a second.
Ooh, yeah.
Confessions Usher got a whole chick pregnant on the side, so that's the worst.
But can we not?
And then the news got sprung on him while he was in the studio.
Ooh.
Even focus on creating more art.
Yeah.
The stress.
The stress just hit him hard. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Confessions was probably worse. It would have to make you feel worse because you're thinking about the story about it. He didn't even know the woman.
I didn't even want you to get pregnant.
I didn't. Yeah, it was just.
I didn't even want you.
It was, and then she got pregnant. So it was like, it was. I have to say if in terms of feeling worse, but actually I would say I felt his pain in that song, even though the story of the album is Jermaine Dupri's story. You could still feel the pain coming through the song. which made you feel like I'm sitting here like stressing out, like I got a chick pregnant. I'm like, my God, man. And I was only 14 years old, man. That was yeah.
Look.
You get, but I think that's one of the things though. Is like the best artists are the ones that get you to put yourself in their shoes.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know,
Mhm.
and
All right.
storytelling, the way he tells his stories they're really very well done, very well done. I don't know if you want to compare R&B Usher to pop Usher, but storytelling, I don't think that there's anything wrong. I think he tells a complete story with his albums, which a lot of artists don't do, especially nowadays. A lot of artists don't do
It's kind of random. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
What now? See, now I can't act like I ain't really giving an opinion over here. You know what I mean? Because there's a certain song of Usher's when you talk about singles that stand out to me. You know what I mean? My doggone love sick self. You know what I mean? Not even really realizing that this is a common phrase that even today we still use when you really, really, really feeling it. When you really got emotions for somebody. You know that you got it bad. You got it bad.
Oh yeah.
When you on the
How
phone.
old were we when that
Thank
song
God.
came out? We were in like 4th grade, I want to say. I was
Come
in
on,
4th grade,
I don't even
and
know.
I felt it. When he,
I'm telling you.
bro, he was outside inside of the rain crying.
In the
No?
rain.
He
Come on.
was crying and dancing in the rain. I was
Dancing
like,
in the
this man
what?
is really feeling this.
Yo, I'm
Bro,
telling you.
Yeah.
I got it bad too.
I'm telling you. That
Me too.
that guitar riff and that solo made you just want to dance in the rain like the video. I'm just saying.
I tried, it didn't work. Did not work.
Did
But
not work.
I yeah. Now I know it's kind of like going off topic slightly, but what do you think about Lovers and Friends?
True story. I have a ATL Essentials Apple Music playlist, and I'm driving in the car, minding my business. Lovers and Friends came on. I turned up the radio, and I'm like word for word singing it, and I was like, I forgot how amazing this song is.
Yeah.
Like literally just happened 3 days ago. Lovers and Friends is amazing.
That was probably one of his best collab songs.
You know what? And Versus actually kind of signified that.
Mm-hmm.
It really did.
Yeah.
Because you had Ludacris against Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, when soon as Ludacris played Lovers and Friends,
Yeah.
and that was his counterpart
Yeah.
to Nelly playing Dilemma, if I'm not mistaken. Nelly hit him with Dilemma, and it was like, oh, there we go, Nelly. He hit Dilemma. But as soon as Luda was like, oh, no, I got something for that.
Yeah.
Hold up. And it was just like, oh, it's over with, bro. Like,
that was a 10 count. He was out.
And they had the nerve to hit him with a part 2. That's what the crazy part was.
Yeah.
They hit him with a part 2.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, between Lovers and Friends and those are, to me, those are like the top collab tracks that he worked on.
Doesn't that say a lot too about the time frame? What y'all think about that? Think about how old we were, and look at the era that was. We talking about Lil Jon now, right?
Yes.
And we talking about crunk music at that time when crunk was literally everywhere on the radio. And how is it that those very two songs, even in a millennial-like generation, a Generation Z generation, however you want to put it, to this day, both of them songs are still bumping, no matter where you at or who you at.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
music, man.
Yeah,
man,
I would agree.
A lot of Usher's music stands the test of time. And what I love about Usher is that he started when he was like super young. He was like 14, 15. Yeah. And the fact that he's been able to not only stay relevant, but stay current and stay with the trends and make songs that are still timeless, I guess, is amazing. And just speaks to his talent.
I will say my only problem with Usher is that he stopped working with Jermaine.
Mm-hmm.
That was like he and Dupree need to get back together because the work that they did on Confessions, like that's what I've been comparing every album to since then. Here I stand. It was Raymond versus Raymond, I think.
Yeah.
Raymond. Okay.
That
Come
was a
on
good.
now.
Now,
We're
Hey.
gonna get to this now. I'm telling you,
now,
y'all remember these albums.
his newer albums since Confessions are still really good. But I remember getting those projects, and I'm just like, this is not Confessions. This is not Confession. This is not Confessions. Like I want Confessions Usher back. But when Dwayne and I were talking about it before, we were just talking about the hits that just came from these albums. I'm like, oh snap! I honestly didn't remember that a lot of those hits did come from a lot of those newer albums.
Well,
So
really,
I wonder how much do we as a society sleep on Usher?
ooh,
Something you said is that you said you are comparing every album to Confessions, and when an artist makes an amazing project such as Confessions, it's a blessing and a curse
Yes.
because you love this album so much, you feel it, you're playing it beginning to end, and everything they do thus far is never going to make the cut for you. So
Yeah.
it's almost like you're not appreciating the newer stuff because you're still looking for old Usher or old
Mm-hmm.
artists or old whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So like
It is a
it's a
blessing
blessing and
and
a
a
curse.
curse. Yeah, I agree with
it
that.
is.
It most
It
definitely
is.
is.
And you know, and that's the beautiful thing, and that's what made us have to come up with this subject matter for y'all because you know we got another show that's gonna be coming on the OTS brand very very soon. You know that we call the Ology that'll have a little more focal breakdowns, but it won't just be on the music side of things. We'll have it on other things as well, from films and gaming and all that good stuff. But see, what really makes this
Okay.
interesting here, I take what y'all just said about comparing a key album. So as you compare, like you say, that's his version of Mike Jackson's Thriller. But see,
Mhm.
here's the thing, because when I look at Michael Jackson, people can argue and say that Bad rivals Thriller. And yet
Yeah.
I feel like Off the Wall is such an underrated album because that's a different Mike. That's early Mike.
Yeah.
And early Mike gets forgotten about sometimes. You know what I mean? So
Early
it's
Mike,
like
early Mike gets thrown away for some reason, and
Yeah.
I
for
don't
whatever
understand it.
reason. And
I
I
don't
try
get
to
it.
tell people, like, y'all need to go back and listen to Off the Wall because I don't think y'all understand. Mike
Every
Jackson
track.
on the brick wall with the afro, bro, and the
Every
black
track.
tux. Come on, bro. Come on. And then you got to
Yeah,
go
man.
off the hit. So, you know what I mean? So that's why with everybody, man, I had to get this squad together. And we were just like, yo, Usher, hold up, bro. You really got these hits here. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
let's really just kind of go back. All right, we're gonna take this way back and we're just gonna break this album by album from basically 1994 all the way to his last album so far to date in 2016. So here we go. So we start with Usher, 1994. This is Babyface Usher.
Mhm.
Still, you know, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. You know what I mean? Had to give that
Mess.
Martin Lawrence reference one time. You know, this baby Usher, baby Usher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he coming out, and he had about 3 singles off of this album. Now, again, this is 94, so, you know, a lot of us, I know the 3 of us, probably way too young to really, really know these particular songs, but I'm sure if I got some older heads out there listening, then y'all might actually remember these. But compared to everything else he done put out, it just depends on if that's in your level of top singles. So let me read this top 3 that came from this particular album. Number 1 was Can You Get With It, released July 1st of 1994. Number 2 was Think of You, released November 10th, 1994. And then number 3 from that album was The Many Ways, which was released January 26th of 1995. So, again, not much we can really speak on because that's Baby Usher, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was
Don't
4
know
years
much
old.
I was just about to say, I have no opinion. I don't think I remember any of these songs, to be honest with you.
This
Me neither.
album,
I mean,
honestly, this album I don't remember because now, granted, when I did get into music, I did start going back and listening to the older albums that I never listened to. This was one I never listened to. So I can't speak on this one. This one I never paid attention to.
me either.
It was all Babyface, Boys to Men, like it was mid 90s, like top tier.
Legit.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about this album, and it just goes to show for it to be so forgettable because it's Baby Usher. This just goes to show, again, just like I said, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like cinnamon. Like, this is Baby Usher. I mean, of course it wasn't going to stand out because you gotta really think about that particular year, 94.
Mm-hmm.
R&B was really, really, really at its peaks in the 90s a lot of times.
That's when R&B was at its best.
At its best in the 90s. You know what I mean? So really try to think about what came out around that probably time. You had your Drew Hills, you had your Jodeci's, you had your Keith Sweats, you had so many out there.
Yeah.
So many
Brandy,
out there.
Monica.
Come on. Monica. Come on. You know what
no
I mean?
one talks about Brandy, bro. I don't get that.
Yet something we're going to definitely bring up on this very show. So,
I'm gonna have
Mr.
to,
Derrick,
man.
Don't you fret.
We got to bring you back for that one.
Don't
sir.
you fret.
Most definitely, man.
we gonna talk about Miss Brandy.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Matter of fact. And she another one I'm gonna add to that list of, is she a better actor or is she a better singer?
Yes.
That's another one.
Yes.
Question and point. We will bring on Pastor Ox and many, many other things. But in the meantime, so let's go ahead and forward. This is 1997, a much more memorable album for us.
Yes.
Definitely, because this is when Usher finally has his come out. You know what I mean? At this point, Baby Usher is kind of growing up a little more. And that was like, all right, we in
Really
teenage
Usher.
status.
Yeah.
This is like teenage Usher right here. You know what I mean? This is Usher like, all right, you start feeling yourself. You got your abs showing, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, the ladies love you. You already know what time it is. So we come out with the album, My Way. My Way. 1997. Boy, what a year 1997 was. So let's just talk about the top 3. Believe it or not, this album only had 3 singles. However, I will have an honorable mention for this album. I don't know why it wasn't on here because I first heard this song on Sister Sister and fell in love with it. Plus, it was a collab that was very underrated because it featured Miss Monica on it.
Yeah.
Another very slept on artist, I believe, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. We're going to
love
get
Monica.
Monica and Brandy, they got to have a segment on here, you know what I mean? Because they are very underrated. And we got to remind some people. Some of y'all young folks out there probably listening. And we ain't
Let
really
me learn you something.
You know what I'm saying? We got to let y'all know. Look, don't forget Monica.
Let me learn you.
Come on now. So let's talk about My Way real quick. You had You Make Me Wanna, which was the number 1 single that came out from this very album. It was released as the first single August 12th, 1997. Number 2 was Nice and Slow. You already know what time it is. Nice and Slow. February 3rd, 1998.
Right after my birthday.
Come on now. Uh-oh.
They say 90s R&B is why a lot of 90 babies have grown up to be freaky, because why are we listening to Nice and Slow? How old are we? 6, 7?
Yeah.
And watching the video, it was on the box. Remember that was the channel, and it played the music videos. We're 7 watching the box. Nice and Slow, talking about it's 7 o'clock on the dot. Why are we exposed to this? But it does not matter because it's great music.
Can I tell you something though? I didn't grow up with cable. I grew up with basic cable, so I didn't.
Me too.
Oh, so you see,
The
I never got to
boxes on
see.
regular. You know what? I think it was like a certain time of day on one particular channel to where you could like
Oh,
see videos and like
yeah,
call in and like
I do remember
request.
that. Yeah,
It
I do remember.
Yeah, so
was.
maybe that's
It
what
Yeah,
I'm
was.
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I didn't watch music videos until like maybe consistently until I was like maybe like 9 or 10. So
Okay.
a lot of the stuff early 90s, mid to late 90s, I heard the song itself and that was it. I didn't get to watch the music video.
I had visuals, son.
Yeah, see,
The
Hey.
visuals.
yeah, see, and so for me, it was like I'm listening to the song and I'm in love with the song, and then I find out there's a
Hmm.
music video later. I'm like, oh, snap, there's a music video to this, okay, and so for me, it was a little different. I didn't know what the hell he was singing about. I'm just sitting there listening to the song. I'm just like, this sounds good.
I like
I
this.
don't
Yeah.
know what the hell he's talking about, but that's what I want.
Legit, right?
I want
Ain't
the
that
convertible
crazy?
and everything. I don't know what he's talking about, but let me get it.
Yeah.
I want to drop
Ain't that
top.
crazy?
Yeah.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. The box definitely got your boy in trouble a lot. Cause I was watching them music videos left and right. Didn't even know that they was charging your boy. Like,
Oh,
hey.
you know what got me in trouble, Dwayne? So I used to watch music videos over Grand Grand's house, rest in peace. And Grand Grand was like super like we don't do no bumping and grinding music. You're a child. You're not supposed to watch anything risque. And they had this big screen TV downstairs, and I'm watching something risky. She came downstairs like, "What are you doing?" So you're right. These music videos, even though they're not nearly half as bad as what we see now, but they definitely got in trouble a few times for sure.
Boy, I'm telling you, it was like, oh my goodness. And then the one thing that got me about Nice and Slow though, going back to how we just was like, we didn't even realize what type of song this was. The fact that this was like an action music video at that. Had like little fight scenes in it, you know what I mean? It was like watching a movie. So I'm thinking like, I'm just listening like Derrick, man, this sound good. You know, you just vibing. And I didn't realize, oh, this low key a sex song.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's high key a sex song. And then, like Derrick said earlier, Usher does a good job at storytelling. So if you're listening to Nice and Slow, even if you didn't have the box and didn't see the video, you're envisioning what it's like. You know, second verse where he's like, here we are. It's about to go down. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My little heart beating fast.
Yeah. I'm saying like, what's about to go down? What's happening?
What's about to go down?
Come on now. And I can't forget about the Feeling Myself song, because like I said, this was a Feeling Myself kind of album.
Yeah.
My Way. I mean, Mr. Tyrese. Tyrese Gibson in the video. Didn't even know that was Tyrese until I realized, hold up, that's Tyrese. He the rival in the video?
What? And Tyrese another one too that people forget that Tyrese had some R&B hits and some classics.
Tyrese got in his way. He got his own way because he had the opportunity to take over. He had the opportunity. I agree. That was he is slept on for real.
Yeah. Yet another
Sweet Lady, to this day, if I'm feeling bad, I turn on Sweet Lady. It is a morale boost. I feel better. I love Sweet Lady.
Come on. Let's not forget the fact that when you in your feels, you're going to be like, yo, shorty, how you going to act like that? How you going to act like that?
To the kid?
I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been in a relationship and that question popped in my head. How you gonna act like that, man? Come on now. Like that song just plays right through my head. Like, man,
what? So as we go forth now, so let's move on up to this next album. You know what I'm saying? And so y'all give me a little minute here because I had my little discography going, and then it just kind of like went out on your boy.
It went skirt.
So it was like, oh snap! Hold
on. I got you. So after My Way, The next one in line is 8701. Yeah.
Yep.
8701. Which now see, this is my personal favorite
You
album.
remind me of okay.
This is my
Bring it.
personal favorite album. See, this to me, this is where I look at Usher's album and I'm like, this is my personal favorite album. You know what I mean? In my humble opinion, because I look at where I was at this point in time. I'm in my preteen years, where all of a sudden you really starting to develop some feelings a little bit. You know what
You got
I mean?
crushes and whatnot.
Yeah, you got crushes.
I had crushes in kindergarten.
Yeah,
Right.
No lie, me too. I know what you mean, Derrick. Like, but I'm saying, like, you for real crushing this time. Like, now you got puberty hitting. You know what I mean? You like starting to realize some stuff. Like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, why I'm feeling like this all of a sudden? Where this come from? You know what I mean? You getting them birds and the bees talks and all that jazz. So you like, now you crushing.
Do not take me back there.
My dad was like, there is no bird, there is no bees. Don't even think about it, okay? What birds and the bees talk?
That is one of the worst talks to have growing up in church. Oh my God, man.
You are not lying on that, buddy. You are not lying, my guy. So let's talk on 8701 here. So with 8701, top 5 singles that came out of this particular album. You got number 1, You Remind Me, as we were just saying. That song where to this day, I wish
somebody might tell me that I remind them of it. Don't tell me that. Why did you even start talking to me if I remind you of your ex? I wish somebody might.
The one song. That's the one song with the one thing. You would think. I'm glad you said that from a woman's perspective, Nee. Because as a woman, y'all really don't like being compared to
Don't compare me to no chick,
See,
especially
but hold on.
your ex.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Come on, Derrick.
Because women say that all the time. Mm-hmm. But then every single time they get a chance, they compare us to what some other random nigga did.
Ooh.
Keep that same energy. Like that's why for me, I was with this song, I was like, yeah. Yeah, right on. That's
feel now.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hold up now. Hold up. You know what I mean? And so it was crazy looking at that, man. And I mean, after that, again, as we talked about, single number 2 from that very album. Now, here's what's crazy. Now, this goes to show, I didn't even realize this. You Got It Bad, single number 2. Check it out.
I didn't
this
realize
song was released September the 4th, 2001. Really think about that for a second. Mm-hmm. Not too long before 9/11 was this song released.
Oh,
that's crazy, right? I didn't even realize
you really do got it bad. I don't know.
That was a bad time.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
That song came out right around that time and is still considered a complete high classic to this day.
Bro.
So wait, you got it. Right? Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. So this is the video where they had broke up or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right.
See, this is bringing back feels because it just reminds me of what could have been. Wouldn't that have been lovely if Chili and Usher could have been the prince and princesses of Atlanta? Wouldn't that have been wonderful?
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
And it's crazy, right? Because
she was my crush, so I didn't.
Chili is why I still have why I still do baby hairs, the queen of baby hairs. Now, I'm talking toothbrush and pro style. I don't know anything about these edge creams y'all
got. Chili. I was in love with Chili since I was 5. Mm-hmm. And now
you're still in love with Chili because she still looks good.
She ain't changed. The only thing I don't understand about her is that she eats like a bird. I follow her on Instagram, and she eats like like carrots and.
That's why she looks so good.
No, she's doing her thing. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that was the only thing that shocked me about her.
Oh, I
everything
see what you're saying.
else,
Okay.
yeah, everything else, I was just like, man, like I just knew at 5 years old, Chili was my wife. I knew that
I will
for a
find this woman
fact.
and I will marry
I
her.
knew that for a fact. That was my wife, man. And you know, when she and Usher broke up in the music video, I was just like,
Here's my chance. Yeah.
Hey, you know
Hilarious.
what? It's so I can relate to you, but with a totally different single because I felt that way about Miss Sierra. Except problem
really?
is I'm a little too late for that. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Russ came in and
Yeah.
swooped that, but I like
Yeah,
that. I'm like,
The
Russell.
ship
hey,
has sailed,
She
sir.
and
I'm like,
Russell
hey,
already
cool,
bought a
Russ.
major league soccer team and everything in
Yeah,
Seattle,
look,
bro.
man.
That ain't never
Hey,
happening.
I ain't mad at Russ. I'm like, Russ, hey, you the next
Your
thing
thing,
best to
man.
me, brother. I
The
salute
next
you.
thing best to me,
That's
okay?
that's exactly what
Yes.
I would have been
I
like,
like
right?
that.
I was like, you know what, Russ? I ain't mad at you because that's exactly what
Yep.
I would have been right there. So
Yep.
you got it. You
Yep.
got it. So we talking about breakups. Now, see, this is what's so funny because this is why I feel 8701 rivals Confessions, in my opinion,
Mhm.
because we're gonna talk about the year gap because there's a 3-year gap between this album
Mhm.
and Confessions.
Mhm.
You're
This
just
album
out here
came out in
doing all types of
2001.
foolishness.
That album, Confessions, came out in 2004. Now check this out. During this album was that breakup situation with Chili. So single number three is You Don't Have to Call. It's
Oh.
okay, girl. Cause
Oh
I'ma
man.
be all right tonight. Hey, come on
He's
now.
flexing for his friends because he's saying that now, but then be the main one, yo. Why you ain't call me, yo?
Hey man,
The flex is real in front of
I
his
ain't gonna
friends.
front. I played that song so many times when a girl hurt my feelings back then.
Oh, it helped you
What?
get through a couple
Bro,
heartaches.
Come on.
I played
Come
that.
on.
I played that on repeat. Like,
Bro.
go ahead. Go on.
Yeah.
Go on. I'll be
Yeah.
all right. Don't call.
Off to the
Don't none.
woodworks.
Yeah, I'm good.
I heard Neo, which is a completely different topic, but I heard Neo got
Ooh,
a lot
that's
of
another guy to
guys
discuss.
through
Mhm.
some heartaches
Yes, he
and
did.
Yeah,
some
he
He
trifling
did.
did.
females.
He most definitely did.
I
He
love
did, yeah.
Neo.
He
Yeah.
helped me a lot.
He helped me a
It was
lot.
for me, it was look, for me, no lie. These three, it was Usher, it was Neo, and it was Mario. Those three right there for me,
Yes,
Mario
Mario.
is slept on. Oh,
Mario is,
slept on. Super
yes.
slept
man.
on.
That boy is super
What?
slept on, man.
Yeah.
Oh
Come
my
on,
god.
man.
Ever since he cut the braids.
I know, right? Look,
I
Big
don't,
fan since
I
he
don't
cut
know
the
what
braids
happened,
off.
man. He
Yeah, that
cut the
hurt my
braids
heart
and everybody
too,
forgot
bro.
him.
Like, no lie, y'all. I kid you not. Like, we really got to get y'all. It sounds like we got to get y'all an R&B episode
Yeah.
past the ox. You know what I mean? Kind
It
of
might have to be a
remind y'all of some of
series.
these names.
I don't know.
Let
You can
y'all
do
know,
that in
like,
one episode, man. That might be at the series,
man, for
Yeah.
real.
to be
Like,
honest, because you
we need
got
to get y'all
so many.
what?
Monica,
Because y'all
Brandy,
need this. Y'all need
Mariah
this
Carey.
school.
Mariah
What?
Carey, bro. Look, Mariah Carey is someone. that's so. That's
He having a
someone that
moment, boy.
look like. I hate that she started doing whatever and then making her voice crack because man, that was another voice between her and Whitney Houston. Whitney was my girl too.
Hey, hold up. People forget about that collab Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston had, bro. Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt soundtrack was
beautiful.
Fire. What?
Beautiful. Yes.
Classic.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. But
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. Mario, Usher, Neo, they helped a lot. They helped a ton. They helped a ton.
Really did,
And
bro.
I think that's when I started cutting my hair real low too, just for the hell of it. Yeah.
And I would much rather you all listen to Neo, Usher, and Mario to get over a heartbreak than Future, because Future is like guys like,
okay.
He helped me get through this.
Help me with this.
Much rather y'all listen to Mario and Usher.
What projects does Future have that helps guys with heartbreaks? Because I've never understood that.
I don't know if it's projects or just the energy that he has. I think it's the energy of like, like his latest track, he has a song like "Bitch, don't get too comfortable," like
Yeah. Oh
reminding a
yeah.
girl, "Don't
Yeah.
ever get too comfortable. Just know that I can replace you." And he has like 1,000 baby moms, so he's not lying.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
definitely
Nah.
living the lyrics he's talking.
It's
Yeah.
funny he should say that though. I like how he trying to bite Lil Wayne with the whole "don't get too comfortable." Like, Negro, you know you stole that from Lil Wayne, bro. To the left, to the left. If you want to leave, be my guest, you can step.
You can
Man, get
step.
out of here, Future.
Oh.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, we know
Yeah.
like Wayne birthed pretty much a lot of the rappers, so like a
Oh, yeah.
Future and a lot of others. So like we know who to really look to for inspiration. But as of right now, a lot of guys are looking to Future for guidance or whatever, for whatever reason.
That's crazy, man.
That's
I ain't gonna
wild.
lie to you.
But
And
see,
so,
that's the thing about R&B. Like, I feel like it's something that we had the chance to listen to when we had those issues.
Mm-hmm.
Generation now does not have that opportunity. Not because R&B is not there. R&B is strong as hell right now.
Yeah.
It's just that they're just not. They're underground for some reason.
They're underground and the vibe is different to me. Like
The
a
vibe
lot
is
of this
different.
like trap soul, I'm rapping, but not really. I don't really have emotions for real. Like I don't want that. I want you to be outside, inside of the rain, dancing, singing for me, and telling me how much you love me and being vulnerable. I want that R&B.
Come on.
Okay?
Yeah. That vulnerable R&B is where it's at.
And I'll tell you another genre that's very close related to R&B, but it's completely different. I try to tell people there's a difference between the two because it's a different vibe. But neo soul, man.
Yeah.
Another genre that just doesn't seem to be as popping as it was when you had your Jill Scotts, your Erykah Badu's, Music Soul Childs, D'Angelo's. Like,
where did Music Soul Child go?
I don't know, but he needs to come back.
He does.
I love Music Soul Child. But I think like Ari Lennox gives me like a neo soul vibe though. Like there are some artists that kind of giving me that, and Ari Lennox is one of them. So it's not dead. It's just not at. I think when neo soul came out, it was a collective of these neo soul artists that all came out at the same time. So it forced you to acknowledge the genre that was neo soul. Now everything is just kind of, you got to find it. Like you said, it's very much underground. You have to look for it.
Yeah. And speaking of Ari Lennox, one of my favorite artists now.
Do you love her?
I love her. And guess what? She followed me on Twitter and I don't know why. And every once in a while I was like, what? I go back every once in a while just to check, see, like, is it true? Like, she actually, I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Wait,
love Ari.
Never said anything, but
screenshot.
That's my that's my girl right there. I love Ari Lennox, man.
Man, hey, let me tell you. So we gonna go from there.
Back to Usher.
Back to Usher, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring this back on topic for y'all, you know what I'm saying? So
that was a tangent.
It was. It was a good one.
It's a good one. But continue with 8701. 4 and 5 singles was U-Turn, Can You Help Me? And then of course, honorable mention in that one was not You Don't Have to Call, but I Don't Know, which had Diddy rapping on the start of it, which some of y'all may remember that if you saw I believe it was probably the You Remind Me. No? Yeah, it was. It was the You Remind Me music video. Right at the end, right when you had Chili in the club with Usher, you could hear that song playing in the background, and it was just
That's such a good memory.
Just that song from that music video. Okay, but it was a dope song too. So, now we go to the quote unquote peak album. Yes. Fast forward 3 years later, 2004. Yes. Confessions.
Yes.
Confessions. We have the #1 single, which was the first single. I'll never forget when it dropped because I had just got out of weight training. I was going into weight training in my weight training phase, lifting weights. And I remember me and the boys, they over there, I just heard them going, yeah.
Peace up, A-Town. Usher had every guy pulling up to church wearing fitted caps, a button down, and forces. If this is your idea of being dressed up, I'm down for it. I'm totally down for it. Everybody had that same outfit.
Come on, look.
Oh God, I just did have the hat.
Thunderclap, hey, thunderclap, hey, a rock away, a rock away.
Do the A-Town song.
Come on,
Hey,
like
yes.
what? I'm telling you, man.
God.
This song released January 27th, 2004.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good year. That was freshman year. Oh my gosh. I was
2004.
almost freshman year of high school for your boy.
Definitely
I was
eighth
transitioning.
grade,
Eighth
I
grade
was
to
in
freshman year.
homeschool.
Whew, boy, that right there can't go. And then to just when you thought it didn't get any better than the ultimate breakup song. So good that they had to do a remix of it on the Boondocks. Number 2, released March 21st, 2004. That's my grandma's birthday, y'all. Let It Burn.
Yo, listen.
When you found out that he was talking about a different burn, no, I'm just joking. Just kidding.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Definitely talking about a heartache.
No.
I will never be able to listen to that again.
Oh my God.
Not the same way ever. I will never be able to listen to it the same way again. But I will say that song was not only was the song amazing, but the music video was. Because I remember watching it and I was like, how in the hell did he sync up rubbing his leg with the flames in the tree? That was a thing that caught my attention. I was just like, that was smooth as hell, man. Like, how did he do that? Like everything about that music video was dope as hell. And I remember that was definitely the breakup song right there.
Come on.
Burn was like, yes, once it ended, burn it down. Like that was in my mind, that's how I took it.
That was it.
Disintegrate. Go.
Ultimate choreography.
Yeah. Hey, no, but real talk. When you like went through that heartbreak at that moment, did you not go to that song? And did you not do the dance?
You did do the dance.
Hey.
I mean,
come on, man.
Bruh, no lie, it's just like you got it bad part 2 for me.
Yes.
Because between that dance scene and that rain and then this,
yes,
it was like, yep. I gotta do
and
it
I
again.
like it because, you know, we used to go through these things where like we would go through a breakup, or even if we're listening to a song and we don't really know what a real breakup is, you would sit with that song and like curl up in a blanket and listen to it and cry and feel the feels and let it burn and go through that emotion. Now the breakup song's like, oh, I'm done, I'm about to go party, like I don't really feel anything. No, you gotta, like, you have to work through the emotion.
That is true. I didn't curl up with the blanket.
Well, you know, figuratively.
But yeah. But I do remember, like, because I was homeschooled during the period this album came out, and I would literally sit in my room and draw for hours, right? So I would be listening to this song and I'm just like pissed off, whoever it was. I'm just pissed off. Just drawing and listening to them just burn, baby, burn. This was it, man. I'm telling you, this takes me back for real. This was the song this album, because I mean, even throughout some. Go ahead and run through the other singles, because
let's do it.
There's other ones that probably aren't considered singles.
So this one right here, ironically, comes out at the top of the summer. The very single that titles the album itself. Number 3 was Confessions Part 2.
Yes.
Now let's talk about that music video, y'all. You know the infamous intro. Ring, ring, ring. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
You gotta be playing.
Nah.
I'm in the studio. I'm gonna call you right back. What? Hold on, what? No, you playing with me. Stop playing. Stop playing. What? Are you serious? I'm gonna call you back.
Man,
all this sad music.
Ooh, you felt that, boy.
I felt it for him. Oh, I felt it for him. Like she's just pregnant and you messed up, and now both relationships are messed up. Like I started feeling the headache of that's. I'm being completely honest. This song right
PTSD.
here.
This is why I am so
This
careful.
this song right here is the reason why I never cheated on anyone I was with.
Usher is out here saving lives. Thank you,
He's
Usher.
saving lives.
This is it, because
Good
I
job.
put myself in his shoes and I thought about the headache. I said, "Oh,
Whew. Could you imagine?
And let's
and two black women." Hell no.
We love y'all, ladies. We love y'all.
Hell no.
It makes you appreciate your
Yeah,
woman
yeah.
much more. Trust me. It really does.
Yeah,
Especially when you really think about the video and that one scene where he's confronting his girl and literally on the knees begging.
Yeah.
It just slaps him in the face and you're like, oh.
You feel
no.
you feel every
My
slap, you feel every pain, like every moment in that song, every moment of like where he's like he loses his breath and like doesn't even know what to do, every bit of confusion, you feel it. Feel it listening to it, you feel it watching the music video. And that's what I'm saying. Like to me, Usher is like one of the underrated storytellers, because that right there is not something you feel. You don't get that from artists a lot now. When's the last time an artist made y'all cry?
Good question.
That's a great question. No.
You don't
I
know?
don't know. I don't know.
Maybe Eminem. Maybe.
He cry out of fear.
Yeah, well, nah, it sounds like cleaning out my closet that just kind of hits you deep, you know what I mean? When you're just really like, you're mad, but you're really exposing some demons and you just bring out at you like, God.
I feel that. I think J. Cole was the one that got me.
Yes.
J. Cole was the last one that got me, and that was actually last year, I think.
What song did it for you?
Sacrifices on Revenge of the Dreamers 3. That one got me because I actually started thinking about my mom and how she sacrificed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That one.
I'm about to cry now. Goddamn. I'm about to cry now.
Wait.
Got me.
Speaking of about to cry, hold up. Wait a minute.
Hold up.
Now, I just got to remind Janine of some memories here because I just realized this about Confessions.
Here we go.
Between Confessions and My Boo, right?
Oh, yeah.
Both of these were summer anthems. This
Keys.
is our Myrtle Beach days.
Yeah.
I totally just realized that.
Yes.
These are our Myrtle Beach days. So me and Neen was out on the beach during songs like this.
Man.
Out there on the ocean, waves in the sand.
Oh,
I remember us taking our road trips to Myrtle Beach. You are why I know about Eminem. You are how I know about he was the white rapper from Memphis, I think.
Oh, the white rapper from Memphis. Wait. Not Lil White, was it? Was it Lil White?
He was talking about popping oxys like way back then.
Oh,
you remember it? No, it was terrible. It might have been. I don't know. But I say all that to say Dwayne is how I know a lot of music, because we would be on these road trips and we would both have our our Discmans. And he would just pass me CDs and I would just listen to it. Yeah.
Isn't the quality of music different when you hear it like that? Walkman or Discman. Even on vinyl. I was just talking to my cousin. My cousin just turned 15 the other day, and I was talking to her about vinyls. She's like, I don't have a record player. I was like, I'm gonna get you one for Christmas.
Let's get one.
I'm gonna have to get one for Christmas, because the difference in audio when you're listening to it on vinyl, when you're listening to it on CD, or you listen to it on
cassette
cassette.
tape.
Oh,
And let's not forget, because this is past the
radio.
aux cords, baby. It ain't the same vibe when it comes through the aux cord.
Yo,
You get the little feedback.
I'm telling you right now, I will literally to this day lay on my bed and put these on and listen to music, because it's just different. The sound of the music is just different when you're hearing it through headphones versus listening to it off a Bluetooth speaker. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel
For sure
the same emotion. You don't feel the instruments. It's just different. Yeah. It's different, man. That's why, like, man, I know I'm gonna sound like an old head, but kids these days just don't know what it is.
How about the fact that we have to acknowledge that we low-key are the old heads now?
Oh, I'm fine with it.
Because I don't know, I felt like I turned 23 and just stopped. And I was like, yo, I'm damn near 30. Hold on, wait a minute. Like I am auntie now.
Yes.
Like that's
forever,
me.
Man.
Yes.
Forever 21.
Yeah.
So we are the old heads, and it's our job to learn these youngins something, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely getting my cousin a record player. I'm actually going to get one because my parents had one. They still have it, but they never use it. But I used to listen to some of their stuff off their record player. Yeah. So like, I'm like, I told her, I said, I'm gonna get you one. I'm gonna get myself one, but my God, it's just a different vibe. It's vinyls are just different. So yeah. This is gonna be an album I'm gonna buy on vinyl if I can find it.
On vinyl. Oh yeah, you'll
find
it.
They
everywhere.
You'll find it. Yeah.
Look, trust me. I know exactly how to go find it for you, brother. Trust me. I know some spots. But so the final single that comes, and I mean, we can talk about the Confessions album all day because there are definite honorable mentions. But again, we just keeping it strictly on singles, people. The final fifth single was Caught Up, released November 30th, 2004.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Come on now. Which also told a story in its music video as well, guys.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I forgot about that video.
What really got me was that I liked the song. I liked the go, the go-go style feel of the song, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was crazy was with that song, I had no clue until years later when I really, really started listening to the lyrics. I had no clue he was just talking about karma and the fact of I was a player. I was messing with these ladies. My mom tried to warn me and say, hey, you better watch that now.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, that ain't going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Wrong. Fellas, we can get it too, apparently.
Nice.
Neen, would you like to touch on that for the ladies on their behalf?
Nah, because then that's going to be a whole nother hour-long tangent. We just going to skip right past that. Just do right by your partner, man. Do right by your partner.
Let me ask you something. Because to me, there were songs in here that I thought could have been singles as well. Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Seduction.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Seduction, yes.
Oof. Yes. Heck yes.
I don't...
This is why streaming is now nice, right? Because back then when you had to pick a single, you had to decide what goes on radio. You had to decide what videos you're going to make using your budget. There's hits on albums that people don't see or that they don't appreciate because they're only listening to radio or only watching MTV jams or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Versus streaming, you have the whole album there to play whenever you feel like it. You can sit with it and you can pick your own single. Like you can pick whatever you want to be your main hit.
Yeah.
That's a great point, man. You hit that right on the nail.
I agree with that. Definitely.
Even as we just touched about how we are in our age right now, like, gee, old enough to know better, young enough to not give a what? Wait a minute, hold on. But wait, it's like, but that statement right there does make you think, like, geez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why it's dope when we can go back and listen to older albums on these streaming platforms. It's like, yo, I did like this song. I do love this track.
Legit, man. So now we're going past the peak level album that most people put on that mainstream level of greatest of all time album. So this is where the debate gets nice and juicy, people. Let's go ahead and move to a few years later. I believe this is 4 years later. Yeah, 4 years later, past Confessions, 4 years. So think about that, y'all. Confessions was so great to people. It took 4 years for Usher to drop another album. Mm-hmm. And by that time, May 13th, 2008, Here I Stand comes out. So let's talk about the singles on Here I Stand. This album, by the way, had 6 singles.
Yeah.
So 8701.
All I wanted to do was make love in the club. That's it. That's all.
Look, 8701.
I wanted to grow up, be old enough to be in the club first and foremost.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make love in the club.
See, the germaphobe in me was just sitting there just like, how in the hell?
Yeah.
We're going to have Lysol. We're going to spray it down.
Yeah.
First, spray the wall.
But wait. Come on now. Let's not forget Young Jeezy's part and the fact that Jeezy was at that time popping the way he was.
Jeezy the Snowman, what? Okay,
yes.
When you put Jeezy on that, it was like, uh-oh, wait a minute.
And it was nice to hear Jeezy on like a lovey-dovey song. You was like, okay, Jeezy, you're like street, but low-key nice and sweet or whatever. Like, okay.
On the couch, on the table, on the bar, on the floor.
Yes.
Okay. Street love in the club, baby. Street love.
I don't know if Jeezy was making love in the club. He was definitely doing something.
Ain't no way he couldn't.
Now, speaking of love in this club, see, now that single released February 22nd, 2008. Hey, my graduation year, y'all. That's crazy.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
Love in this club released then. So it was so dope of a song, they had to make it a part 2. Love in this club part 2 featuring, for all of you Beehive ladies out there, Miss Beyonce.
Dude,
part
why did
2.
I forget about that? She sure did get on a part 2. Oh my God.
Can I say something about that?
Please.
Come on, bro. Speak to the people.
You didn't like it?
It wasn't bad. It didn't reach the Jeezy one though. That first one, and I know people that are in the Beehive are gonna probably say something. Don't care. Beyonce,
Don't care.
I love Beyonce. Trust me, I love her. But the sequel did not surpass the first one at all. It didn't.
I think I just took it as an extension. Like, okay, cool, Beyonce's on the track, but let me go back to the original though. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never replace it.
You can't because that was one of the things I listened to it and I was just like, this is cool. This is a good track.
Oh, nice.
It's yeah. Hey man, but the thing about it though was I'm listening to it, I'm like I had to go back to the first one. Like I don't know. Sure. It's not that it was a bad one. It just didn't surpass it.
It didn't hit right. Yeah,
it didn't hit. It
didn't hit like the first one did.
It wasn't as memorable. It wasn't as memorable.
Now, see, Beyonce fans, on the other hand, may beg to differ with you on that, my friend.
And
to them, anything she graces her presence with apparently is always memorable. She makes everything great.
I guarantee
if I'm gonna die
about, like,
on
10
this
years
hill,
old when this came out.
If we're gonna die on this hill, I was not a fan of her remake to what is it? Before I Let Go.
Ooh, yeah, no.
Thank you.
Are we gonna?
Thank you, because
can't do it.
You cannot do it. I turn that off whenever I would get in the car and I turn the radio on, and I would hear that. I immediately turn it off.
Yep.
You can't do that to a classic. I'm sorry.
Classics. Certain classics should not be touched, and that was one of them. Regardless of who you are, Beyonce is amazing. We love her, Queen Bee, yes. But that's a song that you shouldn't have touched.
Yes, not at all. I completely agree with that.
Complete unanimous around the table and agreement.
Good, so I'm not going to be tagged all by myself. Wonderful. Okay.
No, we'll share in it. In fact, you know what? I'll take it a step further. She shouldn't have been Nala in the Lion King.
Ooh. Y'all know that there's a rumor about her being in Black
that she's going to be in Black Panther. Okay,
Wait,
so what I will say about Lion
what?
King,
Apparently
there's
she's
a
gonna be
rumor
in
that she's
Black
gonna be a
Panther
part of
2.
Black Panther 2. But they said that she's not gonna act in it though. What? Come back.
Hold on. Playing who in Black Panther?
No. So they say she's not gonna like act in it. She's gonna be like a part of, I don't know, like the soundtrack maybe.
Oh, that's fine. That works.
Maybe.
That'll work. But she,
We'll
as
see.
long as they're not trying to make her Storm, that's
what I heard. That's the part I heard right there. Storm is the one that she's supposedly gonna be playing. So they say. And I'm like,
No.
please don't. Do not do Storm.
I'm gonna tell you
This
right
is a
now.
conversation for another day.
I'm gonna tell you right now. For every fan of Beyonce, come at me. I do not want Beyonce to be Storm. Square up. She will not be good as Beyonce. I mean, as Storm. Beyonce will not be good as Storm.
She has to be Beyonce. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just
pissed off. Beyonce, you ain't gonna be out Beyonce. Come on, boy. What you mean?
I'm just really pissed
Derrick,
right now.
would you accept Halle Berry coming back as Storm, or do you feel like that was old X-Men? We need a new one.
I didn't like her as Storm.
Oh, I love Halle Berry.
I love Halle Berry too. She's a really good actor. In her newer stuff was trash. The wigs and everything is trash.
Another conversation. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But I need someone that looks African.
Okay.
I need that. I need that look. I need that look. Give me that look.
Legit African too.
I'm not.
Like legit.
It's no slight on Beyonce. It's no slight on Halle Berry. But I need that strong African look in every bit of way for Storm. Do not mess this up and cast Beyonce as Storm. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That's my only thing. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I digress.
Hey, it's all good, man. Look, we know this on the music podcast. We ain't straight too far with y'all on that.
Yeah.
We just gotta vent
Another
a little bit. Can we do that? Can we do that? We can vent a little bit. You know what I mean? Even on a show like this, that's what you're gonna get. So going back to Mr. Usher here.
Mm-hmm.
Here I stand, single number 3. This was a single that I ain't gonna lie, I hated it at first. I couldn't stand it. But it eventually grew on me years later, and I really started to understand how powerful it was.
Which song?
Moving Mountains, May 23rd, 2008.
Moving Mountains. It was nice.
Ended at first.
Really? I liked it.
I did not like that song at first, y'all. It took a while for that song to really grow on me.
I loved his vocals in that song. Loved him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Moving Mountains I was hooked when I first heard that song. Quite honestly. Wow. That was a good one.
I like Moving Mountains as well.
That was good.
It's a deep one. It's a deep song. I appreciate it now, y'all, just to make the record straight. I love this song now.
Yeah.
But at that time, I could not listen to it. I couldn't. So then we got number 4, which is What's Your Name, August 18th, 2008. After that, single number 5, Here I Stand, August 18th, 2008. And then, of course, here's a song that many people might remember. Good old number 6, single number 6, Trading Places.
Listen, okay. Love Trading Places. It's great. It's wonderful. But it seems like we have traded places and just never went back. I just feel
you just wanted it for that night.
Like it was only supposed to be for like a spontaneous one night thing. Like we can switch back now. It's fine.
Come on now.
Oh snap.
Oh my God.
Hey, look.
Come on, Derrick. Let them know.
And not speaking about any of us personally, but just from what I see on the interwebs. Okay.
I listen.
Hey.
Interwebs.
I'm honestly
the interwebs and the social medias and whatnot.
I can't disagree with you on that one. I can't say there was anything wrong with that because I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you. As long as you understand.
I understand.
We don't have to get into it.
Yeah.
We don't want to hurt feelings out there, but yeah, it's okay to trade back. It was only for a night.
Yeah.
So it's been several years. It's fine.
So we're gonna go 2 years down the line from this album.
Oh, hold
And
on. Can I
here
say
we
this
are.
one thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Derrick. Go ahead.
His Mistakes was an underrated track on that album.
Really?
I think it was. Yeah,
His
because
mistakes. I need to listen to it.
he was talking about. I gotta listen to it again, but I remember it was, like like he was being blamed for another man's mistakes in a new relationship.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
How
Okay.
like
I'm sure a lot of men have been there. Yeah. I'm sure me.
I
Case
mean,
charged.
yeah, it's one of those things where like as a man you start to think about it like that. Yeah, like I shouldn't be paying for his mistakes at all, and I
How
think
patient are you? Oh, so good. No, I'm sorry.
no, go.
No. I was gonna say so when you find yourself in that situation where you're like, okay, we keep having the same arguments. You're obviously having some insecurities about, things that you experienced inside of your last relationship. How patient are you to try to help her overcome getting over her ex or getting over her past? Like how long would you wait before you're like, you know what, this is not going anywhere because you're not trying to move forward?
I think it depends on a couple of things. Like if she's actively working on trying to improve in that area. You know what I'm saying? Like between that and like also how long it takes her to heal from something. Because there's certain things like not everything is equal, right? Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so if you're talking about like trust versus abuse, if it's a situation of abuse, the trust is also a factor in that. So there's abuse is going to take a lot longer than just trust. You know what I'm saying?
There's layers.
So
Got it.
yeah, so there's levels to it that I think where you have to be patient if you're with someone that has that type of pain.
I guess
You know
patience
what?
is key.
I'm gonna say this right here because the R&B we grew up on made us more sensitive, made us
You
as men.
think?
I think it made us sensitive to a lot more things than guys coming up now that don't have R&B.
That's
The
an
guys
interesting
growing
thought.
up, I know when a guy did not grow up with R&B. Like I know because a lot of times you're probably in an environment where listening to R&B was like soft or
Mm-hmm.
whack
Mm-hmm.
or to express or didn't grow up with the tools to properly express your feelings
Yep.
or being lovey-dovey was also soft. So I can tell when a guy did not grow up with R&B.
Yep.
And you're right, it is very different. It's
Yeah.
very different.
It's
Wow.
different.
It sucks.
No doubt about it, y'all. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I low key feel sorry for you if you didn't grow up in eras like this, because man, shoot.
Hey man, that's just on you.
I mean, the
That's
beauty
You
on
of
have
it
the
is at least,
internet now. You
yeah,
you
go
know,
back
want
and
to
look.
go find it.
you can
You
go
know,
find it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But as far as when it was live and fresh and coming on those
very different.
radio
Yeah.
airwaves, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Remember when like we would have to wait and hope that we were in the car at the right time to catch our favorite song? Like, oh my gosh,
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what?
like that's wild.
Because I was homeschooled, I sat with my radio next to my desk and had it on all day.
Lucky you.
That was one
Come on.
because I would hear songs all the
Left and
time
right.
playing. Yeah, and then you just start to discover what was that? LimeWire.
Oh.
R.I.P. to all of our hard drives. My goodness.
Yes. The computer
Oh,
killer.
man.
Low
Bro,
key.
Yes.
man,
R.I.P.
my computer got demolished.
Yes.
Come on,
Same.
All
man.
the stuff yeah.
Come on.
Good old times.
So I guess what we're gonna transition to, and I gotta break this up because what I didn't notice, apparently this album right here, it debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top 200. Go figure. 2010. Raymond versus Raymond.
Baby. Raymond
What?
versus Raymond, y'all sleep, okay? And I don't know if this is considered to be pop Usher, but y'all sleep.
I'm glad you
Okay.
said that because
This
this
was
is
Pop
definitely
Usher.
the transition between
Yeah.
R&B Usher
I loved it.
and Pop Usher.
Yeah.
It was
Let's
my
go into
favorite.
the singles. Let's go into these singles. You got the first single from this album released October 16th, 2009. Cuzzo's graduation year, actually. Shout out to the Cuzzo on that one.
Divine 09. Okay.
Papers, released October 16th, 2009.
Ready to sign them papers was like, okay, Usher. Like, fine.
I don't even really remember Papers, to be honest. I'm not gonna
Papers
lie.
I
was
do.
cool.
I remember.
Like, I remember because he was going through some like marital
Divorce.
issues, correct? Yes.
Mhm.
So, like, thank you for being vulnerable with us and sharing with us what's going on. But we don't.
But I think that was also after his stepson died in that accident.
Yeah, that was at Lake Lanier, correct? Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, Lake Lanier is just not the place to go.
I've swam in the lake and was fine. I think maybe if you can't swim, don't go in the lake.
Oh, I
Maybe?
can't swim at all.
Yeah, so don't go in the lake.
The only thing I can, the
Don't
only
go there.
water I can really get into is in the bathtub.
And even then it's questionable. I don't
It's
know.
questionable,
I like to take showers.
I got some questions. That look a little suspect in there. There's too many
Right.
bubbles in that thing.
Right. It was a little deep today. What happened to the tub? Yeah.
All right, so now we get into some ones I remember. Number 2. This was actually one of my favorite singles because this one was kind of vibey. And I was like,
Yeah, I
and
know
it
it's
featured
going
an interesting rapper that a lot of people may wonder, hey, what happened to that guy? You know, the Kurt Franklin looking like name, Plies. Hey, Daddy, Daddy's home. Released a few days, like literally 2 days after my birthday, December the 8th, 2009. Hey, Daddy, Daddy's home comes out. Now, what y'all think about that, Usher, when that song came
I
out?
loved it. It was great. You know what? I like this album because this was summer of 2010. I had just came home from my first year of Southern, which is a party school. And I think I'm grown now. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm grown. And this album to me was sexy. Like, it was just a super sexy album. And now that I'm getting into feeling myself, now I have the means to feel sexy with it. So really, I love all of it. Daddy's home. Oh, okay. All
Come
right.
on now, Derrick, you got that look on your face, man. What's
Here's the
going on?
thing, man. Like, this is the transition for me. This was
Here we
when like he has some tracks off of this that I liked, but for the most part,
you didn't like Lil Freak with Nicki Minaj?
Come on,
I'm not. Listen, we can get there. We can go there. Because my thing about it was Pop Usher, still really, really good, really strong.
Yeah.
But I need R&B Usher. Like, this was a good
See,
album.
the blessing and the curse.
But this was because this was like, you know, when artists used to, because they don't do that now, but for the most part, but back then, this is also still the time where people were making stuff for radio hits.
Yeah, this was very much that album.
And this was that album. That's why it felt watered down to me, because I'm like, where's the story? Where's the story? That's where I got disappointed, because I wanted the story. I don't feel like I got the story,
and we wanted to party. You see
yes,
what I'm saying?
yeah, and that was the
you
problem.
Wanted the story, and we just wanted to feel good and party and feel sexy and have music playing in the background.
I like them transitions. I love those dynamics right there, because for me, you know, much like Neen here, I'm in college at this time. So songs like Lil Freak and Hey Daddy come out, and it's like, okay,
turn up. What?
I'm not afraid to bump these kind of bangers because they like R&B bangers. You know what I mean? Like, these are R&B bangers. So it's like, oh yeah, you can play this and not feel like, oh, you gotta have a girl around to play these joints. It's like, nah. You hear the beats in these joints, like, hey, you can bang these, bro.
But There Goes My Baby was probably my favorite track off this album.
So beautiful. I just want you to look at me and be like, damn, there goes my baby. like I want you to be proud of me. I want you to show me, like, yes, Love it. I
That
love this
was,
whole album. To be
but
honest.
that's because that was the R&B. Like that was
So that
you
gave
know
you the stories.
that gave me a story. Papers gave me a story. But the album itself, I didn't get a complete story. I didn't feel like
Gotcha.
it. You know,
So
and
Yeah.
that's why for me, because Here I Stand was the album where he stopped working with Jermaine Dupri, and then from there on, that's what we see Usher, just being Usher. And that for
Yeah.
me was just where I was just kind of like disappointed because I didn't have the stories,
mm,
you know. Now I grew up in a household where my mom was always watching soap operas. Of course I didn't pay attention to them, but I've always enjoyed like I've learned to appreciate storytelling from all my art that I
Right.
consume, and that for me was just like, mm,
I think so. You're someone who enjoys a complete, cohesive project,
yes.
beginning to end.
I don't.
I can appreciate that.
That's why Bruno Mars's album, what was that?
Come through, Bruno.
Huh?
I said, come through, Bruno. I love
Okay,
him.
okay, okay. I thought I just had to make sure I heard
Are
you
you like,
right. Okay.
oh, do we got to argue real quick?
Yeah,
was
We're
it
not going to
yeah.
argue. I totally agree with you. I'll go,
24.
Bruno.
Yeah.
Versace on the floor, right? Was it Versace
Yeah, that
on the
album.
floor?
That album. I forget the name of that album. I think it was 24 Magic or 24 something. But that album was a complete story because it told you about how music was through the decades. You know what I'm saying? It was every track was going through a new period of music, and I loved that. It was a short album, it's a 30-minute album, but it was fulfilling. Not all albums that have like 15, 20 tracks are fulfilling, and
Mm.
especially from with this album, he had the extended version, which had a lot of these other songs on it. And it just wasn't complete for me.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then let's talk about one thing about Raymond versus Raymond and the fact that at this point, between Lil Freak featuring Nicki
Mm,
Minaj, you know what I mean, which
you
everybody
know
was
us.
getting ready to ride that wave at that point from the Young
Oh,
Money
I was
era
a Barbie all day. Yep,
all
sure
day,
was.
right?
Oh, you're gonna get mad at what I have to say about her.
No,
So
okay. I am a reformed Barbie. That was a past life.
Okay.
That was a
past life,
past life.
Okay.
past life.
Okay.
Past life.
Okay.
I once was lost.
But now I
So
am
you
found.
would agree that she has fallen off?
Her recent decisions have been questionable. I just I don't rock with new Nikki so much, but I don't think it's fair to try to like discredit or forget when Nikki was in her prime and when she first came out, how
When
amazing she
she
was.
was hitting, she was
When she was
hitting.
hitting, she was hitting. And I feel like a lot of people, our memories are so short term because we get new stuff so quickly.
Hmm.
And especially if you're younger and wasn't around when Itty Bitty Piggy came out and that whole Nikki wave, then you're gonna try to dismiss what she's done.
Yeah.
So I don't like what she's doing right now, but I appreciate Nikki, and she was queen
So you're
for
not
a
you're
while
not
there.
you're not a fan of Nicki and Takashi?
No, no.
It's
But I
definitely
mean,
worth the
in her
debate.
eyes, is like, hey, if it makes dollars, then it makes sense for me, and I'm willing to overlook some things that maybe I wouldn't overlook otherwise.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. But I will
Definitely.
say I have heard a snippet of that new song, which I just
Is it good?
Nicki's part
Of course.
it sounds like Nicki is trying to get back to old school Nicki.
I'll give
Somewhat.
Nikki credit if she hits me in a way where I'm like, okay, Nikki, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
feels
It
like I've
hasn't happened
seen
yet.
glimpses. I've seen glimpses lately of her trying to get back to that. But when your music is always just about your body, like that's where to me it was just like it's cool to do that beginning, but I want to see you evolve.
Mhm.
I want to see more from you, and that's where she to me just dropped the ball.
Mm.
I think Nikki's verse on Monster will always and forever be like legendary. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
tell y'all, I would play it over and over again until I had every last word down and I had the faces down and everything. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mickey on
that
Muscle
beat
was
was sick too.
Yep.
stupid.
That
Yep.
was one of the
Yep.
sickest beats Kanye ever did, bro. I swear. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
had to make the face like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
I
So,
was, and I was happy for her because I was thinking I want to have a female get on top, like, and reach that success, and she got that success, but lyrically is what I wanted a beast lyrically. That's what I
who do
did
you
with
think who do you think does that for you as a female
Remy
rapper?
Ma.
Have you found one yet? Okay, Remy Ma. Yeah.
Remy Ma,
Yeah.
Young Ma.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
ooh,
need her to. I wouldn't mind
Oh, yeah.
them collabing on something. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't
uh-oh.
mind that.
Come on now.
But yeah, in terms of rapping, those two are the ones that come to mind first. Those are the two that
Yeah.
come to mind. Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Okay. All right. So then with Mr. Usher here, it's safe to say this was the pop transition because
Mm-hmm.
we have single number 4, which is OMG with Mr. Will I
Oh
Am.
my God. And that video was so live.
You know, exactly. It was
Uh,
live. And then you got, and I ain't gonna lie,
There's like,
OMG
no.
was definitely one of my favorites because I did like OMG. I loved it a lot. I love the fact that
it
she
was a
could
good
kind of
song.
move like that.
It
It
was
was
a
a good
it was
song,
a good
Yeah.
right?
song, but it got ran into the ground.
It did.
It
It
got
really
A
ran
did.
lot
into the
of radio
ground, man.
singles did.
Yeah, they did. But this one, for some reason, to me, I remember like that period of time. It was like I was just hearing it everywhere all the time, and I got tired of it. And the video, I wasn't a fan of the video. I
Mm,
wasn't a fan of the video. I'm sorry. I
so,
pop Usher just does not do it for me
yeah.
because he doesn't tell a story.
Are
Pop
you
Usher
a
doesn't tell
pop
a story.
music not lover, but like, do you like pop music?
I love I not well, see, it depends on what you're talking about because pop music is so vast.
Hmm.
Like, are we talking about like Michael Jackson and Prince, or are we
Oh
talking
no.
about
Like, okay, I think pop had its own thing. Like for me, when I think pop, I think of like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears
oh
and
yeah.
Christina Aguilera. Like that's when you was like, oh, this is pop music and this
Mm.
is 95.5 the beat music. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, 95 part of beat.
This
The
is
Yo.
95.5 the beat
Radio
music.
Disney.
Radio.
Radio Disney.
Oh my gosh.
Genie in a bottle was Genie in a bottle playing on Disney? Probably.
Yeah,
That
it
might have
was.
been.
It
I
was.
think it
Oh,
was.
that's terrible.
It was. Don't
Oh,
ask me how I
Disney.
know.
Let the rain
You
fall
are a
down.
man of just random knowledge. I like it.
I
You just
I
know.
I love. I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to listen to Radio Disney all the time.
Let the
I did.
rain fall
Yeah.
down.
And then there was this one radio station that used to
The
play.
way.
There was this one radio
Hillary Duff
station.
in the rain though was fine.
Hey,
There you
Hillary
go.
Duff was actually kind of slept on too, but
I like
but
Hillary.
she was kind of slept on. But there was a radio station that used to play stories like around like 12. I never found out what the name of that station was. But between Radio Disney and that station, those I was locked in.
Interesting.
But I just love stories. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Yeah.
that's it.
Pop centric, baby. Pop
Yeah.
centric.
Yeah. So pop doesn't tell that story for me though. Pop
Yeah,
doesn't tell that
no.
story. And I
It's
think that's
very
actually
bubblegum like.
yeah. But that to me is the difference between old school pop and new school because with Michael Jackson, with Prince, they told stories in their music
Hmm.
all the time. It didn't matter if the whole album was a concise story. Every track had its own story. Newer pop is just
Whatever catchy that can be played
yeah.
on the radio.
And now it's
like,
about
oh, real
vibes.
substance. Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
vibes.
Everything's vibes now.
Vibes.
So yeah. That's why I'm just not a fan of pop like that.
I can
Understandable.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So while we're on the subject of Mr. Pop Usher, let's go ahead and fast forward to the year that was. I don't know if y'all remember this, but this was supposedly supposed to be the end of the world year. The year of 2012. The year
They
that was
must have not known
supposed to
about
be.
2020, goddamn. Ooh.
Yeah, how about you tell us
This
that?
coming.
Because what we were told about year 2000.
Go figure.
Y'all
There you
had
go.
y'all calendars all the way wrong.
20 years too late.
Hilarious.
Surprise! I'm here.
Like, man, everybody was running to get milk and bread and before
Bottled
and
water,
toilet
and
paper.
canned goods, and toilet. I
Let's
had
not
to buy
forget-
cheap toilet paper. You know how horrible it is to have to buy cheap toilet paper? Because that's the only thing available?
Only thing
My
available.
thing, I was like, I need a bidet. I would much rather.
So, but what's different? So this is way off subject, but Y2K versus 2020, which mass rush was worse? Because you remember everybody back then was doing the exact same thing. They were trying to buy bread, milk, canned foods, everything.
I don't remember it being this crazy though, and maybe because I was just too young to understand like why the adults were so scared. Like I don't know, but I remember we went to church and was like,
we did
like,
too.
we was in church.
We did too. I thought I was gonna die.
Was a calm.
I honestly, I was 10 years old. Swear to God, I was in the sanctuary and I'm like, I'm about to die. I'm like, so what's happening? It hit 12 o'clock. I said, well,
where you at, Lord?
I was like, nigga, y'all just hyped this up for no reason, man. It's another day.
I was so in my own world, bro. I probably didn't even realize.
Yeah, it didn't hit me.
It didn't hit me. I was just like, okay.
See, and that's what I'm trying to figure out because I know I can remember the mass hysteria back then. That would have been probably 10 times worse because of social media back then. If we had it back then, it would have been.
Social media makes everything.
Social media makes it so much worse. Yeah. So.
Indeed.
Yeah, but my bad.
No. You guys are good. We had to get that out there. You know that was a nice little side note. But
yeah.
So you, Mr. Derrick, was talking about how you like storytelling Usher. You wanted R&B Usher, and see Raymond versus Raymond kind of gave pop feels, mainstream feels. Well, this very album. The story behind this album is supposedly that Usher at this point had officially disbanded himself from LaFace Records and was no longer a part of this record company. So out comes Looking for Myself.
Yes.
And these singles, number one, this single signified that Usher was back.
Yes.
Climax.
Yes.
February 22nd, 2012.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah.
That was. Was that the only single from that album?
No, actually.
That was the only one I really listened to.
Well, let's see. With that one, you had Scream, Let Me See, Numb, and Dive.
Okay.
Those were your top 5 from that particular album.
Okay, because I remember Let Me See.
Let me see. Okay. I remember Scream.
I can't really say that I listened to many of these songs on this album. Climax was just it.
I was going to say, I feel like I got excited because I remember Climax specifically, but then that's where it ends. Like
that's where it ends. Yeah.
That's where it ends.
Yeah.
So no one remembers Scream, Numb, Dive, Let Me See.
Could you sing Dive for
Let
me?
Me See.
You
I did.
just could you give me like one verse? I don't remember anything other than Climax.
I don't even know if I ever heard it.
I just remember Climax.
That's all I got.
I can't front, y'all. I can't front. I just
That
remember
album is not
Climax.
up for the running at all.
Nope. Shouldn't have left the face.
Apparently, this album, it didn't debut number one. It debuted in the top 200, but it only sold about 128,000 copies.
Wah, wah, wah.
See,
So,
and this was the point. This album, I remember, this was when I was so pissed with him because I wanted him back with Jermaine Dupri so bad. I was like, because Climax like showed me it was still there. Like he was still there. R&B Usher was still there, but he just, for some reason, a lot of the stuff just was not translated into the music. A lot of that emotion was not translated into that music. So that to me was just that was a disappointment for me. That was a huge disappointment.
that makes sense. That makes sense. So then we transition and we move some years down to 2016. The final album from Usher so far, album number 8, Hard to Love, which featured singles such as, now, unfortunately, this one only had 4 singles. It had No Limit, it had Crash, it had Missing You, and it had Rivals, featuring that guy Future that we just talked about. Rivals. Come on.
Can I be honest? I never listened to this.
Please be honest with me too. Okay, I'm gonna say,
I never
honestly,
listened to this album. Not
I didn't know
one
it was out.
track. I didn't know it was out either until I saw it on Apple Music. I'd never listened to it.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think Raymond versus Raymond was the last album that I was like listened to beginning to top for Usher. Everything else was like if I caught the single on radio, okay, cool, I like it, such as Climax.
Mhm.
But Hard to Love, I didn't even know.
I'm not gonna lie. I gave this one a listen, but and I liked it, but
and that's
the
a big
only
but.
thing that really stood out at the end of the day for me was when I think of this album, I think of No Limit, Missing You, and Rivals. Point blank and simple.
I don't know none of those songs.
I
Are
don't
you
either.
serious?
Me either.
Bro.
Me either.
I recommend y'all go back and listen to Rivals and Missing You, man. Especially. No Limit has Young Thug on it. You can miss me with that. The beat was cool. Make say,
okay, so
No Limit.
You saying that? Oh,
you remember that?
Yeah. No Limit. I see murder.
Oh man, that was sad.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that was sad.
You know, and then Missy was like, "Miss you already." I just, trust me, y'all gotta see it, man. Like Missing You was
No
really
Limit, yeah. I like
No
that.
Limit. No Limit was actually probably his one of the pop songs that he did that I actually rocked with.
And you know why I didn't listen to this? Because this is when streaming became big, right? So I wasn't listening to radio. So I'm sure that No Limit was more of like if I'm riding around in the car, it came out, okay, I like this song, but I didn't listen to the radio, so it didn't hit my radar. I wasn't looking for it.
And that's kind of why I said y'all should go back and listen to Missing You and Rivals, because those were the two that kind of came behind it. Albeit they didn't get necessarily as big as No Limit did because of Young Thug probably being on it. And Future not really being Future when he was on Rivals.
Yeah.
So I could probably see why Rivals didn't hit, but I'm telling y'all, man, Rivals especially, between those two, Rivals was very good. I'm not a Future fan, but I love Future on that song.
I'll go back and listen to it. But I just, there was, you know what? Because you make a great point, Janine, that streaming took over at that point. You know what I was doing before streaming actually like really became the thing? I was listening to my CDs in my car.
Yep, I would have mixed CDs.
Yep. I was not listening to the radio.
Mm-mm.
I was not listening to radio. I remember
Radio
I had
got real
Forest Hills
repetitive.
Drive. Yeah, I had Forest Hills Drive. I had One Republic.
One
The
Republic,
Fray.
shout out to them. Yes.
You know, I had those albums. I had Justin Timberlake, 2020,
Yep,
which
2020. Ooh, one of my favorites.
Oh,
What?
Justin
JT.
Timberlake's another guy you need to cover.
Another guy slept. Hey, real talk, real talk. That guy right there is definitely the white version of Usher to me. I'm just saying.
Futuristic love sounds might make me feel amazing when I turn it on. I love futuristic.
Now you know what? I didn't listen to his new album. I refused to listen to his new album.
The country one,
bro?
I absolutely refused because
let's do it, Derrick.
Well, to see, I listened to it for a review, but I wasn't.
I'm not gonna be riding around bumping it.
No, you know why I wasn't into it? Because it felt like he deserted Black culture in that moment. It just felt like it felt weird. I don't even know how else to say it. It was just like he just like, you know what, I'm good. And it was like we're not used to that JT. We're used to the JT we know. We're used to Future Sex Love Sounds. We're used to 2020. We're like, that's what I wanted from him. I still want those type of albums. I refuse to listen to that though. Like that was just
we're
it
too
for me.
hard on him. You were talking about Usher and feeling like you were mad that he left JD. And it's like, okay, are we mad because he left JD and he was trying to fix something that wasn't broke? Or do we say or respect him for saying, okay, I am an artist and this is what I've known and this is what I've been doing for X amount of years. I want to explore some other sounds and some other vibes and see what can come out of it. And I think the same thing with JT. I don't know because I didn't listen to it either, and maybe I'm biased because I just like him.
Say okay.
and maybe I'm just biased because I like him, but I feel like he's a white boy from Tennessee. Like that's where country, you know. So maybe he grew up listening to country and never really sang it because he was more into pop or R&B, and was like, you know what? Why not try and see if I can get back to my roots because that's what his roots are.
And with that explanation, I will agree with that. I still was not listening to it.
I'm not doing it.
I don't even listen to country music. Now you know what? Let me take that back. I think the only real country song I got into that really wasn't a country song. It's just because Tim McGraw was in that Nelly song, but Over and Over Again.
Over and Over Again. Oh boy.
You what?
Yep. Hated it.
I did too. I hated that song.
Are y'all serious?
Couldn't stand that song.
Are y'all serious?
I couldn't stand it.
Man, that thing made me want to get a cowboy belt, man, or whatever they get. Like, I wanted that so bad, man.
I wanted a cowboy belt so bad.
My God, man. I wanted it so bad. Oh my God. Yeah, man. Funny. That was a good song. That was a real good song. Real good song.
So that being said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have kept y'all here long enough. This is what happens when you chop it up. But first of all, it just goes to show Usher's catalog in general.
Yes.
Start to finish signifies. Look how long it took us to break this down, single by single, album by album, guys. If you're still with us right now and listening to that, that means you really, A, are an Usher fan, and B, you understand the fact that this man, give him his accreditation if you haven't already. This man got singles.
Yeah, for sure.
Singles
he deserves credit.
Albums on albums on albums. Therefore, and he ain't even at 10 albums. Most times, you got your Jay-Z's, you got your, just all types of peoples out there that got 10 plus albums. And it takes a while for them to get legendary status. This man only got 8 studio albums. And look how memorable most of them are. If not anything, at least the singles. You see what I'm saying? So
except for Hard to Love. No, I'm just joking.
It wasn't memorable. I'm sorry. It wasn't. But outside of that,
I blame the internet. I don't blame Usher.
I don't blame Usher either.
For that. I blame the interwebs and Pandora.
I will agree with you. Yeah, Pandora. Yeah, Pandora did take over big time. Yeah. I'll agree
Till
with you.
Spotify came along and that just killed Pandora. But hey,
and then Apple Music.
No, hey, yeah, Apple always.
And then Apple Music. Yep.
You know, I am loyal to the A always.
Town, baby. Hey man, once you go Apple, you ain't gonna go back to Snapple. I'm just saying. Hey
man,
look, you already know what it is.
Real talk. If I could, because I'm an editor, and it makes life so much easier to have my iPhone connected to my iMac. That's the only reason why I'm staying with iPhone. That's the only reason. Between that and because I'm just so used to the interface, the operating system on iPhone, so simple, clean. I got it. I tried to go to Android, back to Android, because I had an HTC Evo Shift. I don't know if anybody remembers that phone. That phone was peak. That phone was like, that was a slept-on phone, and I loved it. It was like the next version of a Sidekick. And
I love my Sidekick. Y'all cannot tell me nothing.
See, and that's why I love my Evo Shift, because you could do the same thing on that one. So I had iPhone for like 2-3 years. I tried to go back to Android. I had the Galaxy S5 for like 3 months, and then I went and I bought a used iPhone off eBay for like $100. I said, I can't do this, man. I can't do this.
Hey, real talk, and I gotta end it on this note, y'all, because this talk on cell phones just made me realize something. Now, let's look at Usher's catalog again real quick, briefly, right? We talked about the transition of each album and what was going on at the time. In the case of Confessions, you had CDs still being a thing, right? CDs and CD players were still a thing.
I burnt that entire album. Phones, yes.
And Metro PCS devices where the phone bill was like $40 a month.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't remember Hard to Love because streaming at this point takes over the world at this point.
Yeah.
Right? So, do y'all remember the glorious days of cell phones and how they were your ways of music at one point in general as well? More so in specific ways of flip phones and Samsungs and being able to say, hey, you got Bluetooth. Hey, let me
infrared.
Send this song over to you real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, infrared transfer for sure.
I forgot
MP3
about that.
Phones, you know what I mean? MP3 phones.
I forgot about that.
The fact that you could just play and listen to your music on your cell phone, and that was a big thing for that transition of cell phones.
Remember when guys would walk around, they would have their cell phones hanging from a necklace.
Yes.
Don't know how y'all managed to do that, but you did. And they would be walking down the hallway blasting their music. Isn't that a fun time?
Yes.
What a fun time. Yes. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive, y'all.
That was the equivalent version of someone walking around with a boombox.
It was. Yeah. A lot more
and
portable,
much more convenient.
A lot more convenient.
Yeah.
Less heavy. Much less heavy.
Less heavy. Yeah.
And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that just goes to show we in this circle of people already know that we are in the perfect transition of we remember things when they were golden age, but yet we still young enough to appreciate what we have today and love it. And whatever evolves from this point on,
and you know what?
Whether we understand it or not, we're going to appreciate that too. So therefore,
you know what? Streaming just does not allow the kids today to appreciate music. Because when you have to go out and buy the CDs, or you have to get someone to burn a CD for you, or you have to go buy a cassette, or someone has to make you a cassette play, like you have to make a cassette recording the radio. Like, if you have to work for your music, you appreciate it so much more.
It's different.
It's so different.
Music is so dispensable now, and I love it for a week, and then I forget about it. And then too, you mentioned somebody's album. You said it was a solid 30 minutes, and it was great.
Bruno Mars.
Bruno, yes.
Yeah.
Why are people hint hint cough cough Chris Brown. Why are you dropping albums with 157 songs on them? What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
I am overwhelmed. I
I
can't
love
even
Chris
get past
Brown.
track 3. I love Chris Brown too, but
Love him.
157 songs,
But
bro.
that
We gotta
did.
do better.
I
We
that
gotta do better.
I still have not gotten through that 44 track album.
No.
I still
I'm
haven't.
so glad y'all mentioned Chris, because that's something to probably transition to another show on another day.
We about to talk for 5 more hours. Okay,
Do
I'm
y'all
done.
think,
I'm done.
in actuality, people talk about these versus battles. Now, would you really enjoy a versus between Usher Raymond and Chris Brown?
No.
You know what? I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think the versus thing is even something that needs to continue. Not with them playing their music. Let's make it like do a reformat on it or something like that. Because with the artists playing their music themselves, it's not a show. It's not a show.
Correct.
They're being nice to each other. I need a battle. I need trash talk. I need all of that for that to be entertaining. It's not entertaining. The only entertaining thing about the versus battle was Teddy Riley not being able to have audio. That was the most.
And the memes that came from it.
And
But
Babyface being so petty.
He was shade and yes, shade all day. Hilarious.
Now,
love it. That was the best part of versus for me.
Yeah. Albeit though, you had to have caught the one with Nelly and Ludacris, because that one was funny too.
Ludacris.
No, there wasn't trash talking. It wasn't trash talking quite in that, but people were tripping off the fact that Luda's face was just so chill and calm.
Yeah.
While Nelly over there feeling himself playing songs that y'all were like, I ain't never heard this song, Nelly. What is this? Where did this song come from?
The versus battle with Beanie Man and who is he with? Beanie Man and y'all gonna tell me inside the comments later. I know, but it was dope, because they were together, right? So if they could start doing a versus battle where they're in the same space. Even if it's not like we're being mean battling each other, but it's more of a show or like a concert, and we have less risk of like audio issues, it'll be dope. It'll be good.
That was also that Jamaican vibe.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Hey.
Come on now.
Hey. Anyway.
Drake.
Bounty Killer. I don't know why that wasn't
Bounty Killer. Yes.
Beanie Man versus Bounty Killer. Sorry, I was drinking wine.
They're the reasons why, like, I get mad at Drake, and we can discuss that. I'll come back and we can discuss that at some other.
What you're not gonna do is come for Drake, but okay.
Okay. Well, let's do the next episode. I'm telling you right now. I have so many complaints about him with that, but. Speaking as a Jamaican, I just hate seeing.
Okay, okay, all right, I understand.
I hate seeing that.
I get it.
And that right there is why, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna take this here, and I promise y'all, this is it. This is all we wrote. We didn't mean to keep y'all this long. But
and another thing, no, I'm just joking.
This is what the beauty of music does, and just talking about just dope stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed this edition of Pass the Ox. This is just the beginning. We got more episodes, more cool topics, interviews, segments, all kind of stuff we're gonna do for this show. Hopefully, this is your favorite show out of all the dope shows on the OTS brands. Head to OTS.com, OTSguys.com. Check out this show. Check out many other shows. We got so many dope shows, long list of shows for you guys to check out. Check out What Did I Think About This Week as well, because I didn't get to tell y'all in the intro that Janean herself definitely has a show on her own as well called What Did I Think About This Week. You can find that baby on Spotify, on iTunes, and she is now a part of the OTS family, so you already know that you can catch her right here on Pass the Ox, co-hosting with your boy. Over here, you already know what time it is. Yes, so, sixfamiliesradio.com. Shout out to you guys if you're listening. Shout out to the otsguys.com website if you're listening on there. Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. Shout out to you guys as well. Make sure you leave. Oh, can't forget you too, YouTube, you as well. Make sure y'all leave y'all comments, subscribe, leave those reviews, leave your opinions. Let us know what you think is the best Usher album, the best Usher singles, whatever. Let us know what you think. Come at us. Beyonce fans, you too, come at us because we know we had some stuff in there.
No,
Oh,
please don't bring that because
Hey.
listen.
I'll
they're
take all the
lethal.
heat. I'll take all
All
the
right,
heat.
Derek's
I'll
taking
take it.
All right,
I'll
well,
take
come,
it.
come at Derrick.
I'll take
Okay,
it.
come at Derrick.
But I love Beyonce. Look, we could get in her catalog. Man, look.
You just don't
like,
want her acting.
I
Is
just
what
don't
you're
like her
saying?
acting, man. I just
Okay,
that
understand.
she can't act.
So
I'm sorry.
Fighting Temptations did nothing for you.
I mean,
Fighting Temptations.
they had some really good songs in that.
it was a good.
It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. But
good.
Carmen, the hip opera. Okay, come on, come on, somebody.
Wait,
very
what
forgotten
Which
about
one?
it. Very underrated.
Carmen, the hip opera.
It was.
You never watched Carmen, the hip
I
opera?
didn't watch that. Nah, I'm sorry.
Ay, Dios mío, you gotta watch
did it.
Carmen, the
I
hip
did
opera.
it.
Yeah,
I did
you gotta
it.
see that, bro.
We could. I'll check it out. I'll find it. I'll find it and check it out. But yeah.
I just feel like the two people in this world you cannot talk about without people coming for you is Beyonce and LeBron James. I don't know what it is.
I've survived
either.
LeBron. I've survived LeBron. I've survived him. So come on,
therefore,
Beyonce fans, let's go.
You've heard it here, folks. If he can survive LeBron James and that fandom and that stampede, he can survive the Beehive.
I survived him more than his hairline survived. You know.
Oh, we talking about mothers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, real quick, go around the table. Let everybody know where they can find you, where they can follow you, and we will call this thing an episode. Go ahead. Ladies first. Miss Janean, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
Yes. So as Dwayne mentioned, I have a podcast, What Did I Think About This Week? Find it on where all podcasts are available. You can find me on Instagram at Nina Soul, is it 2 hours? NIINASOL. Thank you, Dwayne. And I'm going to be a part of the OTS family. So you can find me on the website there as well.
Oh yeah. And find me Derrick_OTS, and I also manage the OTS social media. So OTS guys at OTS guys.
And well, y'all already know where to find your kid, but just in case you don't know, let me refresh the ones that don't know. Find your boy at Dwayne Dickey Jr. on Instagram. Follow your boy, my artist page at Highlight Life, HILITE Life. The same thing for Twitter, Highlight Life, HILITE Life. And yeah, man, check out many of the OTS guys' website, otsguys.com, sixfamiliesradio.com. Check out all the shows. And yeah, until the next time, peace.
Bye.